Hello everyone, Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Path Trading Partners along with Bob Iacchino. So let's check in on Bitcoin. We're going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. A couple potential reversal patterns setting up. It's very early, but just want to get them out there in case they do trigger. This is a nice double top. We need a close below 10,122 and then three targets, 95.58. Nice cluster at this 92.81 area, 92.76, 92.81, and then 88.94, so essentially 9,000. We're also getting another pretty major divergence. This was equal highs, but this was lower highs in the RSI, so just watch for that. We could be getting, it has gone pretty far without a substantial pullback, so just keep that in mind. We did run up to this cluster area twice and then pull back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to revise these levels too. Just with the most recent price action. So a couple things, we can come from this one and either do a forward or backwards box. It's going to be the same thing. So we can just do a forwards box and then go back to the 12 and 25 levels. That's going to be our shorter term levels. And we still have a 1 level, it looks like, on there. Oh boy. Hold on, sorry about that. Yeah, we still have the 1 level on there. Okay, so that's our miner. So again, we still have this pretty major cluster at about 11,400. So 11,532 is not going to make much of a difference. Let's go to one of the longer term ones though. The longer term one coming from here up to here. Then we're going to be watching for 11,674 and 12,100 are going to be key. But remember, we could trigger this double top and the rotation zone would be out of the way if we did trigger it. Let's go over to the daily to help fine tune this and see what else can come into play. So to the downside, we have the first cross the rotation zone, so we have major support. So this is lower probability on the daily thing. If we do trigger this, what's interesting is the 8's coming in right at the bottom right now. So if we got a close below that, we'd also get a close below the 8. You might want to watch for some key support coming in about this 9,900 area between these two key GAN levels and the rising 21. So if we pull back there and then get a strong rotation back up, that could be a minor buying opportunity. And then the major ones are lower. So you can see how all those fall. It could be a pretty big shakeout. Not saying this is going to happen, just saying there's a pattern on there that is fairly reliable if it does trigger. So just keep that in mind and plan your stuff accordingly. Either raise your stops or take proper action when it does trigger. Okay, switching over to Ethereum. So we had this potential horizontal channel breakout that never triggered to the downside. So that is done. We also had our levels to the upside. We had this 967 resistance. Then we had 975 poking up just above this before coming back, closing right on the rotation zone, but then dropping below, retesting it. Now it's looking like it's going below again. So let's clean up some of these key levels here. Since those are all done, and we can project a couple more higher, so we can come from this to this to give us some minor levels. So really we're watching then for coming in right about 1,000 right there. We can do also the reverse. That's going to give us the same thing, the reverse GAN box. And we could do a slightly longer one coming from these key lows up to these key highs, which gives us, again, reinforces that 1,000 level. So 997 to 1,000 is very key. And then 1,029 to the upside. Now, this is also forming a pattern we don't talk about, and it doesn't fully fit our criteria because of this spike down through it, but it has a horizontal neckline if we cut through, so this would be a best fit neckline. Left shoulder, head, potential right shoulder right now. That's the way I'm looking at this. So this would give us the reason I'm still going to put it out there is another reversal pattern. It's reversing this up move, and that would take us, if it was triggered, we could watch for a potential move back to 833. It's just a whole single target on this with a potential move to 833. Now, this would also be invalidated once it triggers. If it triggered and then moved back above this line here, which we call a failsafe trend line, it would invalidate the pattern. So just keep that in mind. But why I'm pointing this out is because in Bitcoin and Ethereum, we have two potential reversal patterns. They are not actual reversal patterns until they've this one until it's traded below this horizontal neckline, and then it's not triggered by us until it's closed below that neckline. Let's take a look how that comes in on the daily chart. So we still had the first cross the rotation zone. We traded back down between the 21 and the 8, now running back up. Looks like some sellers are still coming in. So the rotation zone would be out of the way. We'd not have any key moving averages, and this would essentially trade back down to the bodies on these major candles and this very key prior Gann level at 836. So 833 to 836 are going to be major. So not saying to worry or anything else, just saying if we do get that close below the neckline, pay attention, because we could get a much bigger pullback that most people aren't going to talk about, because they're just going to talk about, hey, it could keep going up, 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 and up. And yes, it can keep going up. That's why we still have our patterns and our targets to the upside, just putting out information that a lot of people won't put out there of potential topping patterns that you need to be aware of to either raise your stops or take off some profits if they trigger, and then look to put it back at lower levels. So what we have for you on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.